I'm sitting here realizing something that's honestly a little bit uncomfortable to admit. I spent a lot of my life reaching for things that were beyond me, while ignoring the things that were right in front of me. Not because I couldn't learn them, but because they felt too simple, boring, too basic, and I didn't want to slow down long enough to go through them, so I skipped them. And what I'm starting to see now is that skipping the basics doesn't mean you bypass them. It just means they show up later when you need them most and you don't have them. I can talk at a high level about a lot of things, but then there are moments, simple moments, where something foundational comes up and I realize I never actually learned that. And it's awkward. It's exposing because people assume you know, and honestly, sometimes I've assumed I knew too. If I'm being real, this goes all the way back to school, grammar school, just getting by, doing enough to move forward, but not actually doing the work to understand. And I carried that pattern into adulthood, into learning, into business, into relationships, into everything. There's a little bit of grief in this today, not heavy, but real, because I can see how much time I lost, how many things were harder than they needed to be, how much frustration I carried that they didn't have to be there. And underneath that, there's also some humility, because I can't pretend anymore that I've done the work just because I've been around it. This has hit me hard when I started going back through some foundational material recently. Stuff I had already been through, stuff I thought I knew, but this time I didn't skip. I slowed down, I paid attention, I actually went through it, and I realized that there was so much in there that I completely missed the first time. Things that would have saved me years, not months, but years. And it made me think about how often we confuse exposure with understanding. Just because I've heard something doesn't mean I've learned it. Just because I've been around something doesn't mean I've done the work. I see this in recovery too. People can sit in meetings for decades and still never do the actual work. They think they have because they've been present, but presence isn't the same as participation, and participation isn't the same as surrender. There are layers to this, and if I skip the foundational layers, I build something that looks solid but isn't. And that's where it gets dangerous because I start believing I'm operating at a level that I haven't actually earned. And that doesn't just affect me, it affects other people. I think about someone like Caitlin Clark. What makes her exceptional isn't just talent, it's repetition of the basics over and over and over again, the fundamentals. Practice until they're automatic, refined until they're reliable, and that's what allows her to do the extraordinary, not skipping steps, but mastering them. So today for me, this looks like something simple going back, not forward, back to the basics I skipped and actually doing them slowly, intentionally, without trying to rush past them, even when it feels beneath where I think I should be. Because the truth is, if I skipped it, I'm not above it. It also means being honest with myself and with others, admitting where I don't know something, admitting where I've been pretending to understand, admitting where I built on weak ground. Now, that's not comfortable, but it's necessary. And I don't need to become exceptional overnight. I don't need to prove anything. I just need to be faithful with what's in front of me. And right now, what's in front of me is the basics. Because doing simple things well is what makes complex things possible. And I'm starting to understand that in a way I never really did before. And it's one day better.